Hello everybody, Ginger on Wheels here again. Ready for another unboxing video? It's time for a story first though. So this year, there have been a ton of new e-bike companies. They're popping out of the woodwork left and right, and a lot of them have been offering me e-bikes to review. You saw that I reviewed the Haybike Hero last week and a couple weeks before that. I'm pretty familiar with the Haybike brand, but I've been saying no to a lot of the e-bikes that they send me or offer me just because they look really basic, and I'm not in the mood to just ride around a basic bike and tell you guys, yep, it's a bike. But I found a bike, this bike, called the G-Force RS that is very interesting. It's got some features I've never seen before. It's got a pretty big battery, it's got water resistance ratings, and it's half the price of the Haybike Hero. So hope you don't mind doing another unboxing video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and hit the like button, share this video around with your friends. But for now, let's get started opening up this bike. So this is the G-Force RS. I just opened up the top of the box. It does look like some assembly is required. This thing costs $12.99 on their website right now. It's got a 750 watt geared rear hub motor. It's got a 25 amp hour battery. Like I said, it's a little bit water resistant. I think they said IPX5. Top speed around 28 miles per hour. And it's got 6 suspensions, which is, I've never seen that before, have you? So let's pull all the parts out of the box and just see what's in here. Oh, they've got really dense, high quality foam in here, bringing the packing game to a new level. It doesn't look like there's much of it in there too. This thing is really efficiently packed, all things considered. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, okay. Shoot, I was kind of hoping they would mail me there's little storage racks that you can put on the front and the back, and they didn't give those to me. Let's get all this packing stuff out of the way so I can show you what was inside. Houston, we have just had a critical failure. I just went over to turn the camera on. I had put this thing up on a bike stand like this, but the piece on the bottom of here that you would rest on the top of a motorcycle stand, there's a cable running across the bottom I didn't know about, so it fell over. It didn't sound good, made a big loud crunch. I guess let's see if anything broke. First durability test of the videos. Eugh, it did not sound good. What did I break? Got the brake levers intact still. Looks like the shifter's intact. No leaky brakes. Did I get lucky? I think I got lucky. Yeah, headlights still okay. I think I got lucky. Don't try and put the thing on a motorcycle stand without the cable moved off the bottom of this flat part. Yikes, that was bad. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna lay the bike like this. So here's our front tire. It comes with this little disc brake cover. You can put that back in the box too. You don't need this at all. And it looks like there's a little cap on the end that went in the end of this side. So that's what it looks like, or that's what you want it to look like anyways. I can't get over how light this is. This tire only weighs like maybe 4 or 5 pounds. Okay, change of plans. I'm actually gonna switch the bike around because I want this disc brake caliper to be on the top. So we're gonna flip the bike that way. All right, so we've got the bike laid on its side here. This is the disc brake side. This is the side that the clasp goes on. This is the orientation of your clasp. You want this piece to be on here. There's a spring on this side as well as this like plastic nut piece. So we're gonna just slide this thing through. The disc brake side goes like this. And then the other side here, this is where our spring goes on. And then a little plastic nut piece. Let's not put it on too tight at first. Gotta flip the tire around. This disc brake slides up in the caliper. In the caliper there's a little slot. Slide it up on in. Oh, inside the disc brake, it looks like there's a little plastic holder piece in between the brake pads. But take that out, it's part of the packing. Let's see if we can get this slid up in there. There we go. Oh yeah, worked out nicely. Okay, and then you just want to tighten the nut on the bottom side here and tighten our clasp down. Good to go. Okay, now hopefully we can use our kickstand and stand the bike upright without it falling over again. That'd be nice. My wheel wasn't set in the dropouts perfectly because I did it sideways, so go ahead and loosen the clasp and tighten it again. Make sure it's seated nice and square. We still scraping on the brakes? Yeah, just a little bit. Much better though. Nice bearings on that thing. One of the things I really liked about this bike was the water resistance rating and the fact that it has full fenders that go all the way down to here, all the way in the back, and we get a nice big one for the front too. This is sweet. Now I can, like, if I get caught in the rain, I don't have to worry at all. Granted, you shouldn't ride in the rain on purpose, but in a pinch, this will do. It's not a terrible front fender. Could be a little longer, but I mean, obviously it's still gonna do fine. As long as we have this little shroud in the back here, it won't spray up all over the bike. So really all we gotta do is tighten everything up, put the pedals on, put the handlebars on, and mount this fender and headlight assembly, and then it's good to go. But let me give you a little up close look at it. Sorry if it's wobbly. We're doing a little handheld gimbal action here. Looks like we got some suspension adjustments. We got a lockout on this side and then some, what is this, compression adjustment on this side? I don't know, it just says tight and loose. It's probably compression. Big, huge 4-inch wide tires. Pretty decent grip on there. Really light, like I noticed. This is the 25 amp hour battery version. So that's how big the battery looks. I was wondering if there's gonna be a spare battery somewhere, or like maybe mounted back there, but it looks like that's it. And the rear suspensions are pretty interesting, to say the least. We've got one here, and it's the same on the other side. So there's 4 in the back, and then there's 2 in the front. It's got a cool design too. I like that little rear rack. I just thought it looked cool and it had a big battery and it was cheap. That's why I wanted to review this thing. That's a big bolt in there. This rear storage rack has a carrying capacity of 100 pounds. So if you got to put some cargo on there or something, no issues. And then, like I said, they sell the little basket for that thing. They also sell the basket that you can mount to the front there, those little 4 bolts. And you can have a front basket too. Thank goodness, rear fender came assembled already. Just got to make sure it's not rubbing on the tire when the tire is inflated. We've got a 9-speed Shimano shifter. This is our 750 watt motor built into the rear hub there. Oh, they got their website on the side. Some people might not like that. GeForceBike.com. Got a chain guard on both sides. Feels like the outer side is plastic. Oh, they're both plastic actually. Let's check out the seats. Pretty squishy seat. Not the worst I've ever felt, but not the most comfortable either. If you got a big butt like me, looks like no issues there. It's a pretty upright bike, you know? You're not gonna be leaned forward in like a racing position while you're riding this thing. Here's our kickstand on the other side. Doesn't look bad. It's got a little plastic knobby on the bottom so you're not gonna screw up your floor and it might not sink down in the mud as far. It's got full hydraulic, 180 millimeter brakes. Very nice. They're both on the same side. They're on this side. Our battery has a built-in on and off switch right here. This little red switch. So you can turn off the bike or just like emergency stop the whole thing by putting the batteries in. I should have keys. There is a locking mechanism and this is to lock and unlock the battery and get the battery in and out. It's probably inside that little tool pouch. Hopefully anyways. Okay, let's get these handlebars mounted on so I can show you what it actually looks like when it's totally set up. All right, so to get the handlebars put on, we just unscrew these 4 screws that are on this little clasp piece on the front, pop the bars on and then put the clasp back on. We're gonna have to bust out our PEV outlet Allen wrenches though. That much has become clear. If you wanna support the channel, you can go to pevoutlet.com, get a nice set of wrenches, maybe pick up a tire pump, and all the proceeds go right back to this channel. That's my online shop. Looks like we're gonna get the blue one for this. Just take out these 4 screws. Ah, I lost the fender. Oops. I'm literally dripping sweat. I need a haircut so bad. I was thinking about doing a live stream where I shave my head live on camera. What do you think? All right, with the little clasp piece taken off, we're gonna just put the handlebars on gently. Make sure not to break up this headlight or bust your throttle, all that good stuff. Well, I might not have to get a riser. These are actually really tall bars. Surprise, surprise. Now we need to put our clasp back on. Easier said than done. This would be much easier with 2 people. If you have an assistant, go get them. They can hold the bars up while you put the clasp on. I need my tool. Okay, one more down here. Go ahead and tighten these bolts up. Not sure how easily you can see this, but on the handlebars, there are little grooves right here that are meant to act as like grip pieces. You want to make sure that the grooves are lined up centered right there in the clasp before you tighten it down, so you don't have to adjust them later. Okay, now would be a good time to make sure the bars are facing how you want them to face when you're sitting on the bike, like, you know, this angle. So I'm gonna pretend I'm sitting on the bike. Just pop a little squat here. Oh, that's actually really tall. I don't need a bar riser at all. That's not bad. That's really cool. Okay, I guess they're like already good for me. Just gonna tighten these down. All right, those are nice and tight. Bars are super tall. And do you guys see what I see? Probably not. I see keys. I'm gonna chop those off. Okay, well I kind of screwed the pooch there. I had the microphone plugged into the wrong camera, but all I did was take out the 2 screws on the back side of the display and then pop the display over the bars, and then we screwed them back in, and now our display is nice and snug on here. Don't tighten it too tight. You're tightening into plastic, but just tight enough. Should be good. Let's see if we can figure out how to get this thing to turn on, because it didn't come with a manual. We got to figure that out, right? Okay, so here's our display. Let's go ahead and remove the protective film. Look for a power button up here. This appears to be the lights button. Nothing on that side. Can we hold the mode button? Maybe that'll do it. Ah, okay. Gotta hold the mode button down for a few seconds. Oh, I might have turned the battery off. Make sure your battery switch right here is popped forward. I found my keys, by the way, in case you didn't see them. They were zip tied up on the handlebars over here. So that's where those were. Let's hold the mode button now and turn on. There we go. We have bike action. Check out that display. Nice and bright. It says energy bar. We got a full 10 bars to work with. Speed, pedal assist mode, odometer at 0. They have done 0 testing on this bike for me. Nice bright taillight I'm seeing too. Let's check this out real quick. That's sweet. Does it blink when we hold the brakes? See if it blinks when we hold the brakes. Nope. Looks like it's an always on rear taillight. And there are no turn signals on this thing. Keep that in mind. The Haybike didn't have those either. Test out our little horn. Okay. And it usually is the case that if we hold the up button on the on the buttons over here, that we can turn on the headlight. Let's see if that works. Yep. Pretty bright. That'll do. We just got to put on the front fender, line our bars up with the tire, obviously. Those aren't lined up. And then stick this headlight on. When we put the fender on, we'll be all good to go. Make sure to pump the tires up, tighten all the screws. That wasn't too bad. Only took like an hour. I should probably show you what tools this thing comes with, because not all of you are gonna go out and run to buy PEV outlet wrenches. We have some hardware here. I'm guessing this is spare hardware. Looks like spares for the display, and then also, I don't know, we'll figure it out. This little pouch had tools in it. It has, oh, this is 16, 18, and then 8 and 10 millimeter on the wrenches there. And these little puny Allen wrenches. Also got a little tightener bar. I would assume this is for the tire axles, but that's not gonna fit on the front. And a couple of zip ties were in there also. All right, when I was done explaining the tools, I found this other random piece on the floor and I couldn't figure out what it was for. But I did some searching online and I found a very similar piece on Amazon. As you can see here, it looks like a chain derailleur protector guard thing. And I also found in the manual this picture, which shows you how to install it. The manual is not in the box, for the record. There's a QR code on the side of the box you need to scan to open up the manual. All right, we're busting out the big guns so I can see what I'm doing better. This is my headlamp that's gonna be for pre-order on PEVOutlet.com soon. This thing has a 3250 milliamp hour battery. We got custom LEDs put in there at the factory. They're for sale on Amazon right now for $26.99, but I contacted the factory. We got bigger batteries in there and better LEDs. They're gonna be $19.99 on PEVOutlet.com. So go pre-order one if you want one. Perfect for working on your e-bike, which is what we're about to do, because I found out what this bracket is for. All right, we got it all put on. These things right here are the mounts for the fender, and those touch the frame first, and then the derailleur guard goes on top of the fender mounts, and then the two screws go in through the holes. There's holes in the frame, just screw it right in. But don't try and put this thing touching the frame and then the fender mounts on top of that. It won't fit. You gotta put the fender mounts first, then the derailleur guard, put the screw in, you're good to go. And make sure this is nice and tight. These are screwed into metal, so don't be afraid to wrench down on these things. All right, the next order of business is to tighten up our handlebar stem. As you can see, the handlebar direction is not lined up with the tire, so it comes loose in the box. What we're gonna do is just line it up, just like that. Make sure when you're looking down at the tire that the tire is straight, lined up with the bars. And then we're gonna go ahead and tighten this screw on top, make sure it's nice and snug, and then tighten this screw and that screw, and that'll be all tightened up. But you wanna make sure your handlebars are tight and squared up nice, because you're gonna be driving crooked. You're riding in circles unless you do that. All right, I got my bars all straight, so I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten the bolts all down, make sure it's snug. One on the top here is a bit loose, and then let's get a slightly bigger wrench and do the ones on the sides. Oh yeah, those are all the way loose. Well, there's your problem right there. Just literally completely loose. Got it. Don't forget to do that. That's dangerous. Again, screwing into metal here, so don't be afraid to wrench down on them. And also, this is a safety matter. You don't want these things to come loose while you're riding, or else you won't be able to steer. Surefire first class ticket to the ER. All right, we're all lined up. Looks good to go. All right, we're in the home stretch. We're almost done, guys. Last thing, or second to last thing we got to do is tighten on our headlight. That's the mount right there on top of the little front suspension bracket. I lied, but I'm keeping this in the video because this is the order I did it in. You shouldn't do it this way. You should put the front fender on first and then put the headlight on. So ignore this part. We're gonna move on to the pedals and then do all this. All right, our last chore is to put the pedals in. Luckily, they're marked with the sticker, R and L for left and right. So it even gives you little instructions right here. Turn the pedal clockwise, and they include the right size wrench to really tighten them down. So I'll just get it started in the threads. I said just get it started in the threads. And then you wanna use your little wrench. Pretty big wrench actually. This is a size 16, and just tighten the pedals on down. This is another thing you don't want to come loose, so make sure you really crank down on these things too. All right, all tight on there. Got our right pedal on. An extra little crank for good luck. Oh, this isn't the last thing we gotta do. Shoot, we're putting on the front fender next. Anyway, let's get this left pedal on. And this one you actually wanna go lefty, which you'd think would be loosey, but because you're riding a bike, it's opposite way around. It's opposite day, so keep that in mind. And one thing I just noticed that we can do with these when I was doing the other side just now, check this out. Put the wrench in and then do that. And hold the wrench on the nut and just do this backwards. Tightens it for you. Slowly tightening in. Oh, it's all tight. Just gotta crank it down just like that. Left pedal on. All right, the last step for us, aside from pumping the tires up and tightening all the screws again, see the forks right here in the front? There's two little mounts. There's one on each side, this little piece right here. You're gonna take that screw out, and then you're gonna get your front fender, and this is a little bracket for the mounting of the front fender. You can see there's a hole in it. Just put that into the screw hole, screw the screw back in, and your front fender will be all mounted. We're gonna do that last, and then we're done. Ready to charge this thing up, pump the tires, and ride. All right, just gonna remove the screws on the little bracket pieces. One on this side, one on this side over here. Don't be difficult, come on. Why is this being difficult? No match for the leverage of the PEV outlet wrench. And then the fender goes on like so. Oh, I'm such a dumb, I'm such an idiot. I've done this before. We're gonna have to take this bolt out and slide it through this hole to keep the fender. That's also acts as a fender mount on the top there. Shoot. I must have done that on like 3 e-bikes so far in my life. But anyway, I'm gonna put the screws back in the sides first, just so that's already kind of holding the fender up for me. And this guy goes over in here. Okay, and you probably don't wanna watch this part, I'll speed it up, but I'm gonna take this screw out and put this in there. That's also the front fender mount. Don't! Make sure to do the fender first before the headlight. I like to think this is why you guys watch my channel, to watch me screw up so you don't have to do it. Okay, all tight, good to go, totally done. Not messing with that again, he said as he noticed the headlight was crooked. Okay, once you have this snugged, put the wrench in the front and then tighten the assembly from the nut on the back. So just like that. Okay, nice and tight, not going anywhere. Nice sturdy front fender, solid headlight, bike's all set up. All right, the tire says on the side here, inflate to 20 PSI. It says 20 by 4, so that means it's a 20" by 4" tire. We're gonna take our electric pump from PEVOutlet.com, use the little quick release adapter to attach the pump to the tube. Right now from the factory, it came with 11 PSI, so we just set this pump to 20, push the center button, and it'll pump the tire up for you and automatically stop at 20. The rear tire over here came from the factory with 9 PSI, so just word to the wise, make sure you definitely do this step. Don't go riding with the tires from the factory out of the box, because you will get a flat. All right, and just like that, our bike is totally set up. Finally, that only took like an hour and a half maybe. I guess it was no more work than any other e-bike, but it's just getting old setting these things up. Anyway, I'll give you one last tour around the bike before we call it a video, plug it into the charger and wait to ride. Got our tread here on the 20 by 4" knobby tires. Nice little fender on the front here and our headlight, very secure. This front suspension looks very familiar. It looks a lot like these cheesy e-bike suspensions I've been seeing, like the one on the Haybike Hero. I don't think this is gonna be that great, but only time will tell. You'll have to wait for the test ride video for that. Up on our cockpit here, we've got these grips, full hydraulic brakes, pretty long levers on the brakes, the up and down speed mode buttons. Our little mode button turns the display on here. Everything still works just like it should. We got our energy bar, speed modes. Let's make sure that we can push the up button and the pedal assist changes. Yep, looks like there's 5 modes. Yes, sir. Okay, got our Shimano shifter, 9 speeds. There's no speeds on this front, just only 9 on the back. Got our quarter twist throttle here. Little button down here for our horn. Nice and decent. Hold the up button over here to get our headlight to turn on. Looks okay to me. Passes the test. Does it turn on? Yes, it does. Hold it again to turn it off. So this light in the rear is always on, and then when you turn the headlight on, it gets a little bit brighter. So keep that in mind. It's a good safety measure, I guess. Got a pretty decent rear fender here with a nice little lip on it, so it's gonna prevent the water from spraying on our back as we ride in the rain, which we're gonna do on this thing. Got our chain derailleur guard on here. We have the RS Magic suspension, the 4 suspension posts. There's 2 here and then 2 here. I don't know why they did that, but we'll see. Maybe it's super extra comfy. Nice cushy seat. Keep in mind though, when you're adjusting the seat, make sure you loosen the clamp all the way before you pull it up, because you'll scratch yours like I scratched mine. I'm still kind of bummed out about that. Not the greatest thing in the world to ever happen. I like the rack. I like the way aesthetically, I like the way the bike looks. That rack in the back, pretty nice. On the range test, I think I'm gonna strap my backpack to that with some bungee cords so I don't have to carry it around. That'll be nice. Magic suspension on the other side. Got our pedals on here. Everything works all nice. This is a key right here. You turn the key like this, and then you can just pull the battery out. But when the key is in the forward position like that, then you can't pull the key out. And this is an automatic off switch. So if I flip this thing back, the bike will turn off. Watch, hard to do with one hand. So when I flip this red switch, the screen will turn off. And that's like an emergency off switch just built into the battery. It's kind of nice. This is the 25 amp hour battery. It costs $14.99, but the default mode is a 17 amp hour battery, which is the same size as the Haybike. And that one is $12.99, which is like literally half the price of the Haybike. That's nuts. It's a 750 watt rear hub geared motor, so a little bit less powerful than the Haybike, but it'll do, I'm sure. At the bottom of the battery here, there's a little sliding cover, and that reveals the charge port. So you just stick your charger in there and then plug it into the wall, obviously, then it starts charging. The battery removes, like I just told you, so you can take the battery out and charge it inside your house and lock the bike up in your garage or something. You don't have to haul the whole bike inside every time you want to charge, but don't charge your batteries if they're below freezing, or actually below like low 40s, because you can damage the battery. Also, don't charge it if it's really, really hot. The charger has over voltage protection and the battery has short circuit protection, so if it does get too hot or if there's a failure in the BMS or the charger, it won't catch on fire inside your house. You don't have to worry about that. All right, well, that's it for my unboxing and setup on the G-Force RS e-bike here. I'm really excited to ride it. We just got to charge it. Thanks for watching to the end. Make sure to click on all the links I put down in the description. We're gonna have all the tools I used and places you can buy the bike. But thanks again for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like, and if you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.